Hello everyone, YouTubers, Psychopenis back again with all the sports facts and stuff. For today's topic, I am going to tell you about every sport of free agency and trade deadlines, how teams that need that player at best to become better next season, and sad to see that player go from your team you like. Because like I said, free agency is a scary thing. So we'll be discussing it here right now on my channel, a free agency and trade deadline. So to start, since I'm an NHL fan and I'm wearing this shirt with all the teams and stuff, I thought we start off with NHL free agency right now. So what I'm going to do is list off all 41 NHL teams of each team and which one is the best player they got. So let's start off with the Anaheim Ducks. The Anaheim Ducks, not a whole lot to say with the Anaheim Ducks. I mean, they did lose some players, like they lost Corey Perry, of course, but they still have Getzlaf, Ketzler, and Gibson. So for the Anaheim Ducks best player from free agency, I'm going to have to say former Oilers goaltender Anthony Stoles is how I think you pronounce it right. So he went to the Anaheim Ducks, and that's the best free agency got for Anaheim. For the Arizona Coyotes, the best one they got is Phil Kessel from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Phil the Frill. I mean, this guy knows how to score. He's got really good stick handling. He's been with this league for many seasons. Back-to-back Stanley Cup wins with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I think, Arizona's going to do really good getting Phil Kessel. As for the Boston Bruins, they got a lot of good players that you hear a lot from. But for the best I'm going to go with for the Boston Bruins is Brett Ritchie from Dallas Stars. Ritchie is a really good player because he can have the depth of blue line to red line for the ice. He has some really nice shot stick handling to score goals and all that stuff. So I'm going to say Brett Ritchie is the best player they could get for Boston. As for the Buffalo Sabres, I'm going with Marcus Johansson from the Boston Bruins. Marcus Johansson is a really good player. He was good with Washington, decent with New Jersey, and good for Boston as well. And Buffalo also got Jimmy Vesey from the New York Rangers. He's also a good player. I mean, once again, for the Buffalo Sabres, I will say this though: for the Sabres, they're rebuilding because they want to be a better team. Eichel needs to be good. Jack Eichel's a good player, and Buffalo should be making playoffs this next coming season. So hopefully with a new head coach and stuff, hopefully Buffalo Sabres will do really well. So I'm going to say for Sabres, best player they got was Marcus Johansson. As for the Calgary Flames, now they got goaltender Cam Talbot. They got goaltender Cam Talbot from the Edmonton Oilers. But they also got Milan Lucic from the Edmonton Oilers. So for the Calgary Flames, I mean, they have a good goaltender, Cam Talbot, but I gotta go with Milan Lucic for the best player that Calgary got for free agency. I mean, Milan Lucic, he's like the hockey player I wouldn't want to mess with, because not only is he good at scoring goals, I can see Milan Lucic being a dirty player. Because, when there's an opponent that has a puck, Milan Lucic can go over there, hit that guy, and help the team. So Calgary, I think, will be a good team this coming season once again. As for the Carolina Hurricanes, now for the Hurricanes, I heard they were supposed to get Patrick Marleau from the Maple Leafs, but I heard he was bought out for some reason. So, other than Marleau, which they probably won't get, I'm going to say the Carolina Hurricanes' best player guy for free agency is Erik Haula from the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, Erik Haula is a good player. I mean, for Carolina, they still have players like Sebastian Aho, Jordan Staal, Justin Flog. So with Carolina, I think they'll still be a better team this next coming season. They still have a good coach, Brett Armor. So Carolina will be good next coming season. As for the Chicago Blackhawks, let's say there's two good players that Chicago got. They got Calvin DeHato from the Carolina Hurricanes, but most importantly, they got former Islanders goaltender and Vezina Trophy from last season, Robin Leonard. And what's big for Chicago's goaltending, because Corey Crawford is a good goaltender, but, despite injuries that they've lost Crawford due to injuries, goaltender has been a struggle. They also, Chicago has used an emergency goaltender, as I remember last season, or 2 seasons ago. So, yeah, I think Chicago Blackhawks' problem is goaltending, so getting Robin Leonard is good for Chicago. As for the Colorado Avalanche, Colorado hit big getting Nazem Kadri from the Maple Leafs. Nazem Kadri is good, even though Toronto fans are going to be sad that Kadri will no longer be with the team. But it's going to be happy for Colorado. Nazem Kadri, once again, is one of them dirty players I wouldn't want to mess with, but he's also good at assisting and scoring goals. And he probably want to get out of the Sharkman team as well. As for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the best player I can think of for Columbus getting free agency is former Sharks player Gustav Nyquist for the Columbus Blue Jackets. To the Columbus Blue Jackets, that is. And first of all, Columbus Blue Jackets fans are sad because losing players like Matt Duchene, Antti Pra, Sergei Bobrovsky, and also Ryan Denzel. So, Blue Jacket fans are going to be worried. Will Columbus still be a good team this coming season, losing those players? Will Blue Jackets will still have enough to be a playoff team this next coming season, knowing that last season they won a playoff series for the first time of their franchise? So we'll see how Columbus will get even better without those free players, but who knows? Let's hope for the best. As for the Dallas Stars, I would have to say, did great for free agency. They managed to get a Sharks player, one of the best Sharks players, and Captain Joe Pavelski. But that's not all. They also got former Ducks player Corey Perry. So Joe Pavelski and Corey Perry for the Dallas Stars. So good job, Dallas, getting players like Pavelski and Perry for your team. As for the Detroit Red Wings, a struggling team. I would say the best player they got for free agency would have to be Valier Filfila. Hopefully that's pronounced for his name, but I'll have to look into it soon. And like I said, Detroit Red Wings, they're trying to get good players. They still want to get back to being playoff. They still want to be a great, respectful team. One thing for sure, they now have a new general manager that's good, Steve Yzerman, because may I remind you, Steve Yzerman spent many seasons with the Detroit Red Wings, being one of the best Red Wings players. So, good job, Detroit, for getting a good general manager. But once again, I still wish you best of luck for free agency, though. As for the Edmonton Oilers, once again, they got a good goaltender, Mike Smith. With Cam Talbot leaving, they managed to pick up Mike Smith. Mike Smith, I would have to say, is a decent goaltender. He was good with Arizona and Tampa, Calgary. So I think Mike Smith will do really well with Edmonton. The Oilers are a struggling team. They still got Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And now, since Milan Lucic is on their team, the Edmonton Oilers managed to get James Neal. So, like I said, best player for the Edmonton Oilers. Mike Smith is good, but I gotta say, it's James Neal. James Neal has been with this league in the NHL for many, many seasons. He's also a good player. So I say for Edmonton's best is James Neal. As for the Florida Panthers, now Florida Panthers did really well. They managed to get goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky from Columbus Blue Jackets. Because keep in mind, with Roberto Luongo retiring from the NHL, Florida needed a good goaltender. So it was a perfect decision in getting Sergei Bobrovsky. So you can tell Florida's going to be a good team this next coming season. With not only getting a great player like Sergei Bobrovsky, but a really good coach, Joe Quenneville. So I think Florida's going to do great this next coming season. As for the Los Angeles Kings, pretty much all I can say for Los Angeles Kings for free agency, they got Derek Ryan from the Calgary Flames. Derek Ryan is a pretty good player that can fill the deficit of the ice from blue line to red line and score a lot of goals. I mean, the Kings still have Dustin Brown, Jeff Carter, Andre Konar, and goaltender Jonathan Quick, but we'll see if they'll still stay with LA to last longer. And Drew Doughty as well. Can't forget Drew Doughty, he's also a good player. So we'll see how things look good for LA if it's good enough. As for the Minnesota Wild, the best player for the Minnesota Wild could get for free agency is Matt Zuccarello. Good player for the Rangers and good player for the Stars. So here he is, Matt Zuccarello. Welcome to Minnesota. And keep in mind, for the Minnesota Wild, they did get a lot of good players from last season for free agency. But getting Matt Zuccarello, will he do good with Minnesota? Because, I mean, Minnesota Wild, I will say this though. For the Minnesota Wild, they'll probably be a pretty decent team to get to a playoff next coming season, but I don't know if they'll be able to get past the first round. Decent playoff team, but I mean decent season, but not good enough for playoffs, or as I should say. So we'll see how Matt Zuccarello does with this Minnesota Wild team. As for the Montreal Canadiens, I don't think there's a whole lot to say from Montreal Canadiens. They picked up a goaltender, former goaltender for Columbus and New Jersey, got Keith Kyneland to Montreal Canadiens, because you still have Carey Price, but Artemi Niemi has left Montreal, and you have Keith Kyneland for Canadiens. And that's not all, because Montreal Canadiens did get a Winnipeg Jets player named Ben Chapin, if I'm saying that name right. So not what to say for Montreal, but we'll see if they'll become better next coming season. As for the Nashville Predators got a really good player, Matt Duchene from the Columbus Blue Jackets. So Nashville Predators, I think they'll still become a pretty good team. I mean, they still got some players. They still have Phil Forsberg, Ryan Johansson, Pekka Rinne, Brian Boyle, Colton Scissor, and lots of other players. So I still say Nashville Predators will still be a really good team for next year in playoffs. And I could say Nashville Predators all the way, but don't want to speak too soon. But good job, Nashville, getting Matt Duchene. As for the New Jersey Devils, the New Jersey Devils managed to pick up defenseman P.K. Subban. But that's not all. They also got right wing Wayne Simmonds. So I'm just going to say P.K. Subban and Wayne Simmonds, two really good players that will be joining the New Jersey Devils. Because New Jersey has been a struggling team. And I mean, they still have Taylor Hall. They have a good player named Nico Hischier. Still have goaltender Corey Snyder. So the New Jersey Devils have a lot of offense and defense. Let's hope when Wayne Simmonds and P.K. Subban start playing for New Jersey, Devils could be a better coming team for playoffs. As for the New York Islanders, now they kept their captain Anderson Lee, which I think they should have. Now for free agency, I would have to say that they got former Avalanche goaltender Semi Varlamov to New York Islanders. And once again, I knew that Semi Varlamov wasn't going to stay with the Avalanche for much longer. I mean, Semi Varlamov was decent with Colorado, but not good enough. So let's hope that with Robin Leonard gone, let's hope that Semi Varlamov can prove really well for the Islanders this next coming season. As for the New York Rangers, Rangers got Artemi Panarin from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Another great player for New York. Good job. Now let's hope New York can be a good coming season, while Henrik Lundqvist is still with the Rangers. If he'll win the cup anytime soon, if Rangers will win one recent. As for the Ottawa Senators, a struggling team. I would have to say the same for lack of offense and defense. Now, the best player I can think of for Ottawa is former Maple Leafs player and also Wild and Sabre Tyler Ennis to the Ottawa Senators. That's the best I can think of. You know, let's just hope that Ottawa Senators become good. I mean, they still have some decent players on Senators, but not with big names. Let's hope that Ottawa can be better this next coming season. As for the Philadelphia Flyers, I think Flyers will become a better team next coming season. They got good players, like they managed to get Kevin Hayes from the Jets, Matt Niskanen from the Capitals, and Justin Brand from the Sharks. So I think Philadelphia Flyers will do good getting those players. And they have better coaching staffs, so I think Flyers will become a better team this next coming season. As for the Pittsburgh Penguins, the best player for the Penguins got is Brandon Taven from the Winnipeg Jets. Losing Phil Kessel, Brandon Taven might be a good, decent player for Pittsburgh. I mean, like I said, Pittsburgh Penguins are currently the longest streaking playoff team. They still have Crosby, Mulkey, and Murray, so we'll see if Penguins can make another run at the playoffs. As for the San Jose Sharks, not a whole lot to say about the Sharks for free agency. The thing the Sharks have done is keep re-signing players for the team. Now they've lost some players like, yes, Joe Pavelski, which is hard for fans. They also lost Joonas Donskoi. But the main thing is Pavelski, and Donskoi is good too. But those are the two Sharks players they've lost. But hey, it's alright. I'm sure Sharks will still be a good team going to playoffs. You still have Joe Fortin, Logan Couture, Thomas Hertl, Martin Jones, Brett Burns, and Aaron Dale, of course. And so yeah, San Jose Sharks, I think, will still be a good team. You still have your good players, but you need a captain. Who's going to be the next Shark captain? Will it be Joe Fortin, considering he's been captain, he's been with the Sharks for a season? Because I'm thinking it's going to be Joe Fortin being the new captain for the Sharks this coming season. We'll see how it goes. As for the St. Louis Blues, defending Stanley Cup champions, not a whole lot to say for them. The best one I could see for free agency is former Vancouver Canucks player Derek Poilevin. I think that's how you say his name. But for the St. Louis Blues, no matter who they get, I can see him still as becoming a really good team next coming season, playoff team. So no problems there, I have to say, for the St. Louis Blues. So, but congrats on them winning their first Stanley Cup. I have to keep on saying. As for the Tampa Bay Lightning, pretty much for the Lightning, I'm going to say a former Vancouver Canucks named Luke Schenn they got for Tampa Bay Lightning. But we'll see how good enough it's going to be. I mean, I can still see Tampa Bay Lightning going for the playoffs again. But, while I was joking, I still say, they still have good players like Stamkos, Hedman, Kallur, Kucherov, Johnson, Vasilevsky. But we'll see how much longer Tampa Bay can keep this up in order to win the Stanley Cup recent. As for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now for the Maple Leafs, I know they've been a struggling team, haven't won a cup in 52 years. Their general manager, Kyle Dubas, he's saying he'll match any offer. Finding good players for Toronto and stuff. Mike Babcock is still your coach. The Maple Leafs are struggling. They got players for free agency like former Dallas Stars, Jason Spezza, former Minnesota Wild, Anaheim Duck, Post Amber. They got a former goaltender from the Flyers, Michael Neuvirth, because Garrett Sparks left the team while they still have Frederik Andersen. Sad to say they lost Nazem Kadri, but Toronto also got Tyson Barrie and Adam Kiefer from the Colorado Avalanche, so they're with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, you're still having good players like John Tavares, Austin Matthews. I'm seeing Toronto still, they could be in jeopardy this next coming season. But we'll see. Toronto Maple Leafs, they'll do okay, but I don't see them getting back in the playoffs. I just don't see it for them. As for the Vancouver Canucks, let's play our continuum for Vancouver. They got former Winnipeg Jets player Tyler Myers. So Tyler Myers to the Vancouver Canucks. Like I said, Canucks, again, a struggling team. I was kind of hoping Vancouver would do maybe even better without the Sedin twins. Because let's face it, as of right now, Activate Vancouver Canucks are becoming the worst, the least dead last Canadian team for the NHL. I want to say that Vancouver's a laughing matter, but Vancouver Canucks, I still have your love and respect. I have a Canucks jersey, and I'm hoping they become a better team, and once again, take their new jerseys and stuff. So let's hope that Vancouver becomes better next coming season with Tyler Myers coming in. As for the Vegas Golden Knights, not a whole lot to say about the Golden Knights, knowing that I think they'll become a better team next coming season. I think they might get goaltender Garrett Sparks from the Maple Leafs, but while I still have good Marc-Andre Fleury, and, same with Subban, Malcolm Subban. So, Vegas could still become good no matter who they get. As for the Washington Capitals, pretty much I want to say for the Capitals is they got former Flyers Rakdo Gaddis to the Capitals. So I think who knows how long Alex Ovechkin will play their team. Capitals can still be a good team this next coming season for playoffs. And as for the Winnipeg Jets, not a whole lot for free agency, I have to say, for Winnipeg. You know, they still have Dustin Byfuglien, Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, Patrick Laine, goaltender, Connor Hellebuyck. Winnipeg Jets, they'll do decent, but once again, struggling in playoffs. So that's how I have to say for NHL hockey game free agency. I mean, there have been some teams that are doing great, striking gold for free agency for their team. But the best team I would have to go with for free agency for this season is Dallas Stars. I mean, I don't want to spoke too soon about saying they're going all the way to win the Stanley Cup in 2020. But you can see Dallas Stars did great for free agency. Pavelski from the Sharks and Perry from the Ducks. So I think the Dallas Stars are the grand winners here for free agency for hockey. So yeah. Now, so moving on for NFL football free agency and trade deadline, especially free agency. For the NFL, now I'm not going to list every NFL team because I haven't been in touch for a whole lot of NFL likewise. I'm just going to tell you the top 10. But first of all, I will say this though. For my NFL team, Cincinnati Bengals, I will say this though. Yeah, Bengals did get some free agency players, but not ones with big names. And I think I'm going to have to blame our Bengals owner, Mike Brown. Not saying he's afraid to take chances, but you know, I got to talk contracts and general manager wise. But I think Mike Brown needs to take better chances for our Bengals in free agency, knowing that we're a struggling team that needs to do better, and that's what Mike Brown should have done. I'm sure all NFL owners are taking this way, but for my specific NFL team owner, Mike Brown, should have done a lot better. So as of right now, I'm just basically, like I said, there's been lots of players for free agency trade team, but I'm going to do it simple and tell you my top 10 of best free agency trades. So for number 10, I'm going to have to say Vontaze Burfict from Bengals to Raiders. Because with Vontaze Burfict, I know people say he's a fuck, he should be kicked out of the NFL, but from my opinion, he's a tough player standing up for the whole defense. So I think Raiders need to be a better defense. I mean, they've had lack of defense last season. Defense wasn't good enough last season, losing Khalil Mack and stuff. So I think Vontaze Burfict filling that gap as Oakland's defense to become better and stronger and hard-hitting. At number 9, I'm going to say Antonio Brown from Steelers to Raiders. Again, don't want to say Antonio Brown's the best wide receiver, but I'll admit he's a good wide receiver. I mean, he did good with Pittsburgh with numbers and stats and stuff. So, you know, I think Oakland will be pleased to have better offense, especially with wide receivers coming season. And like I said, you know, you're probably really wondering why I list those as 10 and 9 for Antonio Brown, Vontaze Burfict. Because think of it knowing that Vontaze Burfict played for my Bengals, Antonio Brown played for the Steelers, knowing my favorite team in their divisional rivalry, that it's crazy that I'm now realizing that their teammates, knowing, I don't know if Antonio Brown can forgive Vontaze Burfict headhunting him in a wild card. So we'll see how it goes down getting along as teammates, because when I first heard about this is nuts, you know. This is crazy. Now at number 8, I'm going to have to say Lando Collins, a safety from Giants to Redskins. Because first of all, I want to say, you know, Redskins are a struggling team. I mean, I think the Redskins will probably be a struggling team this next coming season. But Lando Collins is like a beast at safety for Giants. I mean, he's looking down. I mean, he knows where the ball is going when he's intercepted. So Lando Collins is strong when it comes to turnover with the balls. And, you know, I think Washington needs to have better defense. So I think Lando Collins will do well to fill a gap for them. For number 7, I'm going with a linebacker, Clay Matthews from Packers to Rams. And first of all, I want to say the LA Rams are becoming a super team, knowing how tremendous they've done last season and have a really good coach, Sean McVay. Not to mention, they did pick up Eric Weddle, a safety from Ravens to Rams. So once again, Rams another super team because Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews is like this linebacker where he's strong and tough, but he doesn't want to mess around. Clay Matthews is a guy that I wouldn't want to mess with. Once he's sacking QBs, he's feeling very powerful about himself. So I guess Rams, an even better team this next coming season, lots of stronger in Oregon, Clay Matthews. As for number 6, it's running back Le'Veon Bell from Steelers to Jets. And like I said, I'll admit, Le'Veon Bell is a good running back. And Jets need that because Jets are a struggling team. I think Le'Veon Bell can make the run. So, Le'Veon Bell is a strong player. So, Jets did well getting Le'Veon Bell as a good running back. Also, too, he hasn't played in the NFL for like maybe 2 seasons ago. And I think he need a fresh, better start. You can see why Antonio Brown left Pittsburgh. I think Le'Veon Bell went the same way. So, I don't blame him one bit. I don't blame them one bit. So Le'Veon Bell is going to do good for the Jets. As for number 5, I want to say quarterback Nick Foles from Eagles to Jaguars. Now this one is going to be really good because Nick Foles is a really good quarterback. He redeemed himself with the Eagles, winning a Super Bowl. This guy's got an MVP. So the Jaguars fans should be hyped up and excited that they got quarterback Nick Foles. No offense to Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles, he was a decent quarterback, but, Jags need to be better. So Nick Foles, good job, Jags, for getting him. You're talking about like a Super Bowl MVP. So you could say, Jaguar fans are going to say Nick Foles is going to take us all the way. Well, Nick Foles is going to let the Jags have a better season. I don't know about taking them all the way and winning a Super Bowl. As for number 4, Deshaun Jackson, wide receiver from Buccaneers, returning to the Eagles. You're talking about this guy, also a good wide receiver, knows where the ball goes. Like I said, the Eagles, they're a good team, but they need to become a better, well-respected team. Yes, they have a Super Bowl, but they want to do tremendously better. So getting Deshaun Jackson returning for the Eagles, I'd say it's right in the spot because, wide receiver I think has been a struggle for Eagles. So getting Deshaun Jackson come back for, like he's home to the team and he's having the chance to play back to become better. As for number 3, safety Tyrese Matthews from Texans to Chiefs. And once again, Chiefs, they need to be a better team, maybe to save Coach Andy Reid. So, yeah, Chiefs, they want to be another better, well-respected team. And first of all, keep in mind, the Kansas City Chiefs, everybody's rooting for Chiefs. Well, that's only because ever since they know that Andy Reid's a good coach, when he stepped in, Chiefs, everybody hears from him. But the same as with the Chiefs, knowing that they got a good player, safety Tyrese Matthews, one thing the Chiefs need to do, and especially their coaches, is, fix clock management with Coach Andy Reid. But like I said, good job with Chiefs getting Tyrese Matthews, because Tyrese Matthews is a good safety. He was good with Arizona, he's good with Houston. He done well in college, so I think it's good that Kansas City got Tyrese Matthews. Good player. At number 2, I want to say it's a former Ravens linebacker. He's going to the Arizona Cardinals, and that's Terrell Suggs. Terrell Suggs, he's a good, strong linebacker. He played for 16 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens, and here he comes with the Arizona Cardinals. So I am proud that Arizona, I'm proud for the Cardinals that they got Terrell Suggs, because Arizona Cardinals, because I see the Cardinals being a team that deserves to win the Super Bowl anytime soon, because they're an old franchise, so good seeing they got Terrell Suggs. And at number 1, hate to say it, but I gotta admit it, number 1 is a wide receiver from the New York Giants going to the Cleveland Browns, and that's Odell Beckham Jr. And are you surprised? Well, maybe, because knowing that Cleveland Browns are a struggling team, Browns are doing terrible, and knowing they're my team's divisional rivalry, I've been laughing at them all the time. But now since getting OBJ, I'm nervous now because one thing for sure, our best wide receiver for my Bengals is A.J. Green, which I heard that he has an injury for practice. But once A.J. Green plays this coming season, hopefully that he'll stay strong and healthy and outbeat OBJ for my sake. Because A.J. Green is our best wide receiver for Cincinnati. Let's hope he outbeats OBJ. So that's what I have to say for cover for the NFL. I have to say, there's lots of players for free agent to go to that team that's going to feel got to become better next coming season. And now I want to focus on the last sports team, well, all teams of league, and that's NBA basketball. Now I've heard some of NBA basketball, and this will be the last I focus on. As for NBA basketball. Now, my NBA basketball team is Boston Celtics. I'm a Boston Celtics fan for basketball, which you probably heard before. And, of course, in my closet, I have a Boston Celtics Kyrie Irving jersey in green and gold. It's like vintage. And, yes, Kyrie Irving is no longer with the Celtics. Because I will say this, though, with Kyrie Irving, I saw he would do tremendous with Boston. But knowing that's not the case, he was good with Cleveland, but not good enough for Boston. So Kyrie Irving, he's gone, but my Boston Celtics did manage to pick up Kemba Walker from the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets' best player, Kemba Walker was probably the Hornets' best player so far, but knowing that he's coming to Boston Celtics, I think Celtics will still be a really good team getting Kemba Walker from the Hornets. So let's see how it plays out for getting Kemba Walker to the Boston Celtics. And like I said, Boston lost, lots of good players. Like, again, they lost Kyrie Irving, they lost Al Horford, Aaron Baines, Taylor Rozier, and number 3, Gabriel Yapelblis, which I hope I'll pronounce his name soon. So those are Celtics players that they've lost. But getting Kemba Walker from the Hornets, I think he'll be good for Boston. So, once again, I'm not going to name every team, but these are some of the best players I want to mention that for their teams that they've got. So I said about my team, Boston Celtics, who they got and who they lost. So like I said, for Kyrie Irving that we lost, I thought was our best player in Boston. Kyrie Irving going to the Brooklyn Nets, but it's not just him, it's along with Kevin Durant. So the Brooklyn Nets managed to get Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, a.k.a. KD. Durant, Irving, those are, again, 2 good players. So them coming to the Brooklyn Nets, you can see that the Nets are going to be an even better team coming season. Because, like I said, I've said this before, get the best player to a struggling team. So while Brooklyn Nets managed to get Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, Brooklyn will become a much better team this coming season, getting those 2. Because one thing for sure, Kevin Durant, you're talking about a guy that was great with Oklahoma City, tremendous with Golden State, getting an MVP. There you go, Brooklyn. Be thankful and proud that you got him, So that's good for Brooklyn. And there's another team that got 2 tremendous great players. That's the Los Angeles Clippers, getting former Raptors and MVP Kawhi Leonard and former Pacers and Thunder, Paul George. Now let's talk about that for LA Clippers, getting those 2 players. Now I just want to say, Paul George, I don't mind going to LA, but Kawhi Leonard, it's good for Paul George. It's good that Clippers got Paul George. And yeah, it's good that Clippers got Kawhi Leonard, but the reason why I say I'm glad, well not glad, but I'd rather them have Paul George than Kawhi Leonard is because, like I said, it's just that it was the same about Kawhi Leonard, why he should have stayed with Toronto, because it was similar how once KD got traded to Golden State prior to 2016-2017 season, and with Warriors winning the championship in 2017, Kevin Durant got MVP, so I felt like it would go the same with Kawhi Leonard. Like once he got traded to the Raptors prior to the 2018-2019 season, Raptors win champions in 2019, like Kawhi Leonard got MVP, knowing that's how he would stick and stay with Toronto, but that wasn't the case. But knowing that Clippers, again, a struggling team. And yeah, I can see now why, again, getting Paul George, but especially getting Kawhi Leonard, because I realized Clippers never been to an NBA final. The LA Clippers never been to an NBA final. So getting Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, those two players they got, that proves that I think LA Clippers can reach the final with those guys. Let's see. Well, like I said, for the Boston Celtics players that they've lost, let's see. So Terry Rozier, he went to the Charlotte Hornets. So Boston got Kemba Walker. Well, Charlotte got Terry Rozier. Although I saw rumors that Terry Rozier be traded to Dallas. But nope, Terry Rozier is going to the Charlotte Hornets. Aaron Baines, they lost Aaron Baines to the Celtics. He went to the Phoenix Suns. Aaron Baines went to the Phoenix Suns, which I think Phoenix will do good getting Aaron Baines. See, Al Horford, he went to the Sixers. Al Horford went to Philadelphia Sixers. Sixers, again, struggling team, need to be better. So Al Horford, I think he'll do well with Philadelphia. Now, Gordon Hayward, I heard he's still with Boston, but I'm hearing this rumor that Gordon Hayward could be traded to the Thunder. They lost Russell Westbrook. They still have Steve Adams, but will that be good enough? And once again, they lost Paul George, so we'll see how Oklahoma City does. Well, they managed to get Chris Paul, though, but we'll see if Chris Paul will do well. I mean, he was okay with Houston. Maybe he'll do better with Oklahoma City. We'll see how it goes with the Thunder. Because now Houston Rockets, they got Russell Westbrook. The Rockets got Russell Westbrook. And the Rockets still have James Harden. Although, I really thought James Harden would be traded too. Knowing how James Harden, he also struggled. Because Chris Paul and James Harden, I thought those were the two guys that they were struggling with the Rockets in playoff. So Chris Paul gone, they got Russell Westbrook. So maybe so much that, James Harden and Chris Paul didn't go on well together as players for Rockets. But if Harden didn't get along with Chris Paul, then maybe James Harden will get along with Russell Westbrook for Houston. So, yeah, for NBA, that's one of coverage. And like I said, maybe I'm going to miss some other players for NBA. But, oh, wait. Oh, I almost forgot. Los Angeles Lakers. Let's talk about them. They still have LeBron James. Well, they managed to pick up Anthony Davis from the Pelicans and DeMarcus Cousins from the Warriors. Lakers are rebuilding, and you can see why, because Lakers are a struggling team. They're a team you always heard of when it came to championships. And Kobe Bryant, Shaq O'Neal, well, Lakers, they're now going to become a better team this season with not only LeBron James, but getting Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins, the boogeyman. I mean, they lost Lonzo Ball, which I will say this, though. Speaking of Lonzo Ball, I thought Lonzo Ball would be traded to the Knicks, but no, it makes sense because if Lakers required Anthony Davis from the Pelicans, then in exchange, Lonzo Ball is going from Lakers to Pelicans. So Lonzo Ball is a Pelican. But I will say this, though. I mean, Lonzo Ball's father, LeVar Ball, I don't know how he feels like that, because no, I think LeVar Ball wanted his son to stay with the Lakers forever, but we'll see how he feels when he's got traded to the Pelicans, which he probably already knows. So, living in New Orleans will probably be nice. I mean, Pelicans, struggling team. They have Zion Williams, so yeah. So, like I said, and also, too, they got Mike Conley from Grizzlies to Jazz. They got Kyle Cover from Jazz to Bucks. Now, J.R. Smith, it's possible that he's going to the Milwaukee Bucks as well. And like I said, I can't say I blame him that he wanted out of Cleveland. Because I'm also seeing Kevin Love leaving the Cavaliers as well. I feel like Kevin Love's not going to stay with the team forever. And also, too, one thing about, now, like I said, this was like in 2017 where, like I said, at the time when I mentioned earlier about Kyrie Irving seeing he's going to be a really good player for Boston, I guess I realized that once Isaiah Thomas got traded to the Cavaliers, like Kyrie Irving or the Celtics, I thought that Kyrie Irving would be a better player than Isaiah Thomas to Boston, but it turns out I was wrong. I guess I realized that Isaiah Thomas, even though it was short and Isaiah Thomas wasn't good for defense, I will say Isaiah Thomas was probably one of the best players on the Boston Celtics team. And I thought Kyrie Irving would go the same, but that's not the case. Too soon. And like I said, also what happens with trades and free agency, it may not plan out as well as you go, but one thing I know is that the least expect you give them a chance and see how it plays out for next coming season. Because keep in mind, with free agency and trade deadlines, remember, you're doing this to rebuilding your team to be a better and respectful team. And the teams that you hear from a lot that have won lots of championships, but then they get a best player to their team, well, they're not doing it to go like all the way and win it all and say they're the best. They are the best and say that they're going to win it all. That's what fans think. But in my opinion, they're only doing this just become a better team and more respectful team to say that they're still good. They made it, and anything is possible. Anything is possible. And that, my friends, is what I have to say about free agency and trade deadline for this sports video. So once again, YouTubers, thanks for watching this one. Signing off for now. Keep watching later on.